Hey man, welcome back to Man Time. Today's episode, I need a place to put all this firewood. And I was going to build like a rack, and I started thinking about it, and the easiest, cheapest way, what is the easiest, cheapest way to store firewood? That's what we're going to answer today. Welcome to Man Time. Well, in my search for saving money for stuff that I don't really need to put toward money that I do need, which is insulation. If anybody's looked up the cost of spray foam insulation, man, it'll make your head spin. Holy crap. And, building materials, stuff like that. And my wife wants an enclosed porch right here. And any of you married men out there know that once she's got an idea in her head, that's pretty much it. So this needs to be enclosed out here. But I need to store all this firewood. I'm going to have a wood stove right around this corner through the front door and right inside of there. So the best place to put firewood is, of course, right where you're going to use it. When it's cold, you don't want to have to go too far. I'm envisioning like a sliding screen door, or not a sliding, a double action screen door right here at this corner. So I can pop out of that screen door, come around, and grab firewood right here along the side of the house. And I was going to build like a firewood rack, and then I was looking, well, matter of fact, Facebook Marketplace just shows me like chainsaw, wood stove, firewood related things nowadays. Since I was looking for, wood racks, now it's showing me like firewood. And everybody around here has got the same idea for storing firewood for sale, the easiest, cheapest way. And that is with T-posts and something to keep the firewood off the ground. That's all you need. So I've got some T-posts, I've also got some pallets, and I've got a bunch of leftover junk, building materials from the barn dominium here. So let's go around, take a look at the materials that I have to work with, and then come up with a plan on how we're going to get our firewood stacked up off the ground. This is actually southern exposure, and why I picked this area for my log landing, and ultimately my fire splitting area. Right, so I've got my log landing right behind you. I'm going to have the splitter set up here. I'm going to have firewood stacked along the barn dominium here, and you can see there, planning ahead, I went ahead and sealed all the way down along the R panel where it meets up there. There was some, it's not airtight, right? So I went through and sealed it. This caulk is actually holding up pretty good. If you missed that video, I got a cordless 20-volt DeWalt caulk gun, caulked this whole thing. Went on the inside, especially this time of day where the sun's really beating down on it. You can see real easy if there's any, daylight shining through. There's not, so we're ready to go now with the firewood. But this is all, in progression. If you watch my videos, you can almost anticipate, like, the next thing that's going to happen. One of my subscribers out there is like, yeah, you're going to get a wood splitter. And then, sure enough, I get a wood splitter. And the next video is like a wood splitter, That's just kind of how it goes. You see something in your life where you're struggling, and then there's tools out there to make that life easier, that chore easier, that job easier. So that's kind of what happens on this channel a lot of the time. None of these videos are scripted or anything. It's just kind of homesteading and farmsteading, and doing things leads you to other things that, leads you to new tools and new ways to do things. So anyways, let's see if we can find enough materials here to get this firewood off the ground and held into place. T-posts and something. Alright, so I went down to my, local, I think I got these at Home Depot. And I just went with the 6-foot ones, because I've got windows right here, right? I want that firewood to be up to the level of the bottom of the window and no higher. It would defeat the purpose of the windows if I had it any higher, right? But I'm going to come quite a ways down this side. Probably a lot of this whole thing may end up being just filled up with firewood, hopefully. Yeah, so log landing over here, and I've already got some cut into rounds. Of course, I've got, all this that's just ready to go thanks to that new black diamond splitter. But some of the things I have available to use here are pallets, right? So I could put like 3 T-posts along either side of the pallet, or put 2 pallets together, put 3 T-posts, and have the wood double stacked. So let's measure that. That's not a bad idea, because I can put, if my logs are 20 inches, as long as these are 40, yeah, so we're right here at 40 inches. So if all my firewood is 20 inches, I can have it double stacked across here. And yeah, double stacked across, and how long? Let's see, 7 foot long, or thereabouts. So we've got those. We've also got all of this leftover building material. And looky here. Leftover square steel gutter. That looks just about perfect. Kind of wondering if I should even keep looking. But if I lay 2 of these, 2 of them across at 18-inch centers, that's a whole lot of firewood that I can just have up off the ground with 2 of those. And it's not going to degrade like a pallet. Like a pallet, I'm going to have to go back through and eventually empty it out and replace the pallets. Of course, pallets are cheap. That's probably not real expensive either. Or I could just use a piece of cover panel, which is the panel that is used to cover. There's also a couple nice long sheets of trim, and that might not hold it all the way off the ground. What is this? More pieces of trim. That's not a full square. More pieces of R panel. So I've got options. I'm thinking the square tubing is going to be my best option. But if you're looking to do this, you might just get a couple pieces of 3-inch sewage PVC, the thin wall PVC. Yeah, 3-inch, couple, 20-foot pieces. Do they come in 20-foot pieces? Anyways, some PVC or something would probably work just fine if you can find some. Whatever's cheap, A couple of things I want to do is just, get a feel of what the firewood's going to do, like right there. Because it's going to be like out here somewhere, right? So if this was over here, if you're coming out of a door and going this way, you're going to want to step over here, right? So I'm going to want it like maybe here. This is the farthest out, something like that. I don't know if the screen door is going to push in this way. It might actually be nice if it came out this way. But either way, I'm going to be walking here. I don't want to go farther than here. So let's see here. 20 inches, 18-inch centers. If I go from there to there, 18-inch right here. So I am well within that range. And that puts me, let's just say 15 inches off the foundation. So that's 15 inches off on either side. And I think plenty far enough away here to where I can come around and make this little turn and not have it be in my way too much. Okay, let's put in some T-posts. All right, that's pretty good. 18 inches outside to outside. All right, so we're 15 inches off of the wall, 18 inches outside to outside. Just double check. 15, 18. Perfect. Now, if you've never put in T-posts, one thing you will actually need is a T-post driver. Now, you don't have to go out and buy one. I sure didn't. But they are pretty handy. So I just made this one. I had a piece of pipe, I had some pieces of round stock, and I welded something together, and this works just fine. Does exactly what it's supposed to do. There we go. Look at there. Just that easy. Next. there. Well, that didn't move. This must have moved. So between these two, yeah, we came out a little bit. Never too late. Take a step back, reevaluate. Yeah, I don't want the, if I have some 18-inch pieces, you know, I don't want those not going between the rails here. So we're 18 on center, so the distance in between there is like 16. But let's double check before we go any further here what the distance is in between. We're 18 there, we are 14. This gap in between here is 14. So if I have any firewood that's 14 inches, it's going to fall through. I don't anticipate that happening. 18 to 20 inches is going to be where I am going to be living. So I'm going to line that one up center, line this one up just on the inside, and we should be good to go with just under 18 between them. Alright, that should hold. Alright, same thing's going to be happening over here. We want to double check, make sure we're still, yep, 15. And I'm actually going to try to butt this up as close as I can, so these things aren't tempted to move around on me. Let's see where we ended up here. These are 17 inches apart, and these are, yeah, 17 inches apart. Okay, so we are good to go there. Move that in a little bit. All right, let's stack some firewood. See how it looks? It's the little things in life that, you know, separate the men from the boys, right? Moving the truck to where now it's just literally a step away from the truck where I'm putting firewood. Yeah, I didn't have my measuring tool when I cut all this firewood. Some of it I did. I feel like I was doing 18. But anyway, it does work. They do fit on here. There's a couple of them that are, you know, barely spanning, but one thing I can do here is just push them in, you know, and just have the outsides lined up. So we've got the ability to stack a little bit shorter pieces of firewood, right? Yeah, that'll work fine. And then the bigger ones hanging out the sides, no problem either. Well, that's a look at it from being, you know, packed to the top. That's kind of right in line with the bottom of that window. Just what I was going for toward the end of the day here. I don't know how some people make these type of videos interesting, but some interesting information. There's no way I could have split this much wood and had it stacked red oak in one day with an axe. Just no way. I was very easily able to get this much firewood split and stacked in a day with that 27-ton splitter. So there we go. Get out there, have you some man time too. All right. Well, that was a full day splitting and stacking. And there's a look at it. You can see with those 6-foot T-posts, they're holding very well. The 4-inch gutter is actually holding pretty good. It was kind of cranking and cracking as I was stacking the wood up there, but it ended up holding. So that's going to do it for today on Man Time for Real. And if you like this type of stuff, again, think about subscribing. If not, yeah, do whatever you want. But get out there, have you some man time too.